What is going on, everybody? Todd here, joined once again by Mori. How are you? Yeah, I know that feeling very well. Well, I mean, before we get started, let me kind of do a thing for those watching the video archive that you haven't seen in quite some time.
Ta-da! Even though you can't see me, I'm a GIF. Suckers!
What's funny is I hit that button just as you said ta-da, too. So it's just like, it worked perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we got the cams back. We're doing it on, it's going to be on both Gimmick Bag and Pod Errors. So
Sweet.
More of an incentive for you guys to check out the video archives if that's what the cut of your jib is, I guess. You get to see me shrug a lot too, so
good times.
Yep. And drink tea. Because
there's a sexual innuendo joke in there somewhere.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it that way.
I know. I'm just gonna sit here with my cider.
Yeah, fair. So we were going to record on July 4th. I am thankful we did not.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into why in a bit, but yeah, so we're recording this on the 5th. So July 4th stuff's already happened and blah, and this weekend, you know, there's a wrestling event thing and such, but we'll talk about, like, as we've been doing as of late, we're going to be we'll talk about the wrestling stuff like the back half of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can kind of hear my voice is kind of rough right now. It's a thing that happens. It's part of what happened on July. So, and also why I'm not drinking whiskey. Not because that was the cause for my voice being like this.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that knows, I have issues with panic attacks, anxiety, and stuff like that. So yesterday was 4th of July. You either sit at home and do nothing, or you hang out with friends or family, that kind of stuff, you know, typically a barbecue environment and so on and so forth. I spent time with my family. We had a pretty decent barbecue. You know, different types of salads. There was a potato, a macaroni, a cucumber, a tomato and corn. I don't know. But then we had like ribs, sausage, burgers, grilled chicken, you know, things like that. And it was a lot of fun. And I was very thankful to be able to just be like, I can eat the ribs, you know? So, while I was there, I started getting like an early panic attack, which I just kind of passed off as indigestion, because I mean I did eat a decent bit, so I mean, as you would do at a barbecue where it's just like, we got ribs and burgers and all this other shit, and you're like, yes, all of the things, yes. But then, so last night, we made the decision, and now this is before everything went down, to go, hey, let's not record tonight. You know, there's stuff going on, and it'd probably be easier not to. Like, we didn't record Pod Errors this week either, because Ray was house sitting, and not only was Ray using mobile, which sounded like a tin can, which was hilarious. Was talking through a tin can on a string.
Oh God.
But Ray was also, you know, was house sitting, I think it was something like 3 dogs.
Yeah.
and a couple cats or some shit. So it was just, I'm just like, do you think it'd be probably a good idea not to do one tonight? We can pick it up later. It's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Okay. So, I mean, this week was kind of like, I half expected not to record a podcast this week.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Also, next week, there's a really good chance that unless it gets recorded earlier, there won't be any podcast next week either. So, I am going. Yeah, I got invited to go on a little trip with my grandparents.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So we're gonna be going up to Virginia for some like canyon thing. I don't know, like stalagmite type things, caverns and shit. So, I mean, I think that's what it is. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is they
That
said,
sounds about right.
do you want to? Would you be interested in doing this?" And I'm like, "All right, yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, when is it?" And they're like, "Next week." And I'm like, "Well, shit. All right."
I'm okay with taking a hiatus if we need to.
Yeah. I mean, if it comes down to it, we could always record like early, like on a Sunday or some shit. I don't know, and just kind of like have it set so it releases on the typical day and such. So,
right.
I mean, there's options, but so I have this. I start having this panic attack, and I'm getting like the uncomfortable pain in my ribs that I get when I start having panic attacks. And I'm like, all right. And I took a nap. It subsided. I was like, all right, cool. And then then I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I should probably stream. Since we're not doing a podcast, I might as well stream. That's the thing to do. So I start to stream, and slowly the pain starts coming back. And I'm like, oh, this isn't fun. And I kind of switch up. You know, I do the whole let me just kind of just do my thing and try not to show that I'm in agony. You know, it's what you do when you have a cam and you stream.
Of course.
You try not to show any weakness or pain or fatigue and all the other stuff. It never works, but you try.
Yeah.
So I played Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura, which is something I've been wanting to stream for almost 3 years, and it's just a matter of getting it to work right, capture properly. So I did that, and then I switched over to Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, which is a fun point-and-click game from the early 90s that I grew up on. And yeah, and while I'm playing that, the pain just starts getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. This is terrific. And, you know, I mentioned, like, somebody in chat was just like, hey, man, you don't look too good. What's, you know, you all right? And then I had to explain. I'm like, I get panic attacks, and one of the symptoms of, because, well, actually, it was, the way it got called out was they saw me kind of fiddling, like moving around and just kind of grabbing my ribs a lot. And they're like, oh, you have a broken rib? And I'm like, no, I have panic attacks, and pain manifests like in the rib region. Sucks. It sucks a lot. And I'm like, I'm on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm at about a 7 in pain right now.
Oof.
So I mean, you know, it hasn't hit that point where I'm in so much pain that I physically get ill and I have to, you know, vomit.
Right.
20 minutes later, I'll be back, guys. I do that. I get back. I still feel the pain, but I'm like, all right, cool. 15 minutes later, I'm running back, and it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? And then the pain started building again, and now I'm at like a 9. And I'm like, because like 8 is like, oh, this is where you're, you know, with the panic attack pain, this is where I feel like I'm going to puke.
Right.
You know? 9 is just like, oh god, somebody just put me out of my misery. And a
Mhm.
10 is, who's got morphine? I need morphine.
Mhm.
So it's one of those situations.
Right.
And I do the double, expelment, so to speak.
Mhm.
Pain starts coming back, and I purposely sabotage my run in Fate of Atlantis to kill Indy so I can end the stream.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, that happened. All right, guys. Well, you take it easy. You have a great one.
Oh.
And I hang out in Jess's channel, and I was just like, he goes, "Oh, how you doing, buddy?" Like, Jess is a super good guy.
Yeah, Jess
Legit.
is amazing.
And she's like, "Oh, how you doing?" And I explain what happened. It's like, "Oh, that's no good." And like, between him saying that and me starting to respond, I had to make another run.
Mhm.
And it's just like, oh. And I was up till I'm East Coast, so
Mhm.
adjust for Pacific time.
Yeah.
That was about 2 a.m. When that happened. I didn't end up, the pain didn't subside enough for me to sleep until about 10 a.m.
Ugh.
Yeah. So
Dang.
it was a lot of shit. I was
Mhm.
thankful we didn't record last night.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably could have banged out like an hour and a half, and then like after that, I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Oh.
But yeah. So I mean, there's that. That's basically what ended up happening. That's how I spent my 4th of July. How was yours?
My 4th of July was okay. I woke up earlier than I would have wanted to get ready for a D&D campaign,
Fair.
which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Did you play?
yes.
Ooh.
I would have preferred a different campaign as kind of like my starter campaign. We
Yep.
did what was it?
It was a mass combat.
Yeah.
It was a level 15 starter campaign. It was in a league format.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a new league starting up, and the campaign is starting at level 15 for the league because they're designed as single 5-hour session runs.
Hmm.
But not the best to introduce a new player.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
No.
Nope.
So I didn't really have a fun time because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
To be fair, the run you were in was actually the only successful run.
Oh god.
Welp.
No more. Thank you though. So aside from that, because the GM also ran an afternoon campaign, which threw him in there, which was going till what, 2 in the morning?
Oh.
Yeah. From like 4 in the afternoon to 2 in the morning.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And then there was like a third run today, which apparently failed epically.
No, they killed one boss. A minor boss.
Anyways.
see, I mean, you don't have much experience with tabletop role playing games.
No, I don't.
Okay.
So as like a kind of a starter thing, it was kind of garbage. But the GM is lovely. I think he's a fantastic person. He makes me want to try another campaign with like him and, some other different scenario.
I mean, the biggest thing is throwing a new player into like a combat heavy thing is always a nightmare.
Yeah. I wanted to go after the dragon, but no. Most of the party wanted to do mask.
So, do you remember what your character was?
I was a barbarian. I don't remember what race was I? Azamar.
Mm.
So I was a celestial humanoid being.
Fair.
That worshipped Bast.
And you were
because cats.
Were you were doing D&D 5th edition or?
Yes.
Okay. See, I haven't messed with 5th edition at all, so but I do know, like, see, that's one of those things, like when you start dealing with role-playing games and especially that it's always somebody's first game. So regardless of if, let's just say you had experience playing, D&D, but you didn't have like 5th edition experience,
Right.
it would have been new to you anyway. Like you would have
Mhm.
had some, grasp of what you were doing.
Mhm.
But it would still be like, well, these aren't the rules that I remember. I
Right.
run into that a lot whenever I play a game, because it's just that situation of, oh hey, let me you just try this and I'll do that and blah blah blah, and oh, it doesn't work
Mhm.
right. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's a weird situation. It really is. I mean, I know one of the things that I want to do, and now that we have the cams working,
Mhm.
that's step one. Step two is, if we end up doing well on Patreon, you guys can support
Mhm.
us, patreon.com/precipice podcast. Um, when we hit a certain amount where it's feasible to add more shows, I want to do like a monthly game or a
Mhm.
bi-monthly game, something like that, where it's just, or I say bi-monthly, and then I realize, oh, that doesn't mean every 2 weeks. That's every 2 months.
2 months. Yeah.
No, but like do like either a bi-weekly or a monthly, where it's just a bunch
Right.
of people together. And I mean, I've been working on my game, and that's what
Mhm.
we'd end up being playing.
Right.
Because everybody would be coming into it blind, and
Mhm.
nobody would know. Like, of course, I would be there to kind of coach people through and so on and so forth, but I would definitely want it to be that experience where not one player is more advanced than the other. Like, they may have role playing experience,
Mhm.
mind you, but they don't have experience in this game world, in this game system, and things like that. So it's one of those scenarios where I just think that might be a pretty cool thing.
Right.
Tea is good. It
Yes,
is.
tea is amazing.
Yes.
I need to find something to hold all my tea in for the kitchen.
Gotcha.
I have like this one box and I have some like stragglers out and about.
Mm, that's fair. That's fair.
So we'll have to look for like a bin or something
So,
during the weekend.
so were you handed a character, or did you create one?
Um Basically Anubis kind of did it all for me
Gotcha.
because I really just like I don't know what to do. I don't know what character or what class or what race or
Yeah.
anything. He's like, okay, let me just barbarian go.
I mean, barbarians are just like, let me hit you. Like, if you're doing a combat heavy thing, a barbarian's a good one to have.
Yeah, it was
Um,
actually a lot of fun. Generally, I don't do like a barbarian or a fighter class of that
mhm.
sort. So I think I might have to start switching from like my usual wanting to do like a ranger class to like a let me like tear your head off
Yeah.
kind of a class.
When
Quite.
when me, Ray, Ballin, and Storms were doing Pathfinder,
Mm-hmm.
and we started doing that, which, I mean, I kind of wish we were still doing something like that. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
like, we've been trying, and it's just like, oh, this person has to work on that day, or this person's not available, or this person has a panic attack and is physically ill. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that last person could be,
Hmm.
but
Who knows?
yeah, I
It's a
mean, it's
mystery.
it's not somebody with a cam right now, so
Nah.
it can't be. Yeah, no, totally this guy, totally this guy. Um, but I played. I'm one of those players that I look at what the group has, and I go, and this doesn't matter what game I play. All right, what does the group have? Because I
Mm-hmm.
can work with just about anything, as long as it's not a magic user.
Right.
I just can't connect with a magic user at all. Give me
Mm-hmm.
some derivative of a rogue, I'm terrific. I'm not much of a fighter though, you know? Um
Right.
and they were just like, "Okay, well we have a gnome druid.
Mm-hmm.
We have a human cleric. We had somebody else got brought into the thing. Like the DM ended up creating a character, and then Ballin created a secondary character that was later on. And I'm like, okay, well, I could do a rogue, technically. But I mean, if I do, then we don't have any real damage, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck it, I'll just play a barbarian. And I played a Dwarven barbarian who did not give a single fuck. I'm very freeform when I create my characters. Like, I have a basic concept, and I'm like, okay, this is the basic stuff I need to know, and I'm gonna grow with that character. It's just the way I do it. So, like, I didn't have I didn't initially have a voice for the character, so I just started talking like this, and that became the character's voice. You know, I figured that because he was a dwarf, and the kind of play on stereotypes of just real, like, sort of like real world stereotypes, where like, oh, all of the everybody from this area looks the same. You know, I made it so this dwarf couldn't tell humans apart. Not only could he not tell humans apart, but he couldn't tell a male human from a female human.
Oh, God.
So he would just walk around and go, human, human, human. You're not my human. I need my human.
Oh, that's hilarious, and I love it.
It's just little things like that. And I made sure he had a low intelligence, because I was focusing on damage. That was my job. His charisma was garbage. His intelligence was garbage. But he could hit like a Mack truck if he fucking hit.
Perfect.
So in the second session, like the first session was just because none of us had played Pathfinder, so it was kind of like walking us through the mechanics, in character.
Right.
The second one, we make it to the island we're going to. We'd been training on a boat, so we make it to the island. We get to a city, and there's one of those huge, like, I likened it to like a mall map. You go to a mall, there's the map, it's got all the stores, and it's got the little thing that says "You are here." And just a little hilarious moments came from just that little sign, or that big sign, because it was just like, oh, maybe we should investigate the map and see what's around here, because they have a map and it's labeled. And I'm like, I got this human, and I go up there and I'm like, this sign is lying, or this map is lying. It's like, what do you mean? How's this map lying? It says I'm there, but I'm clearly here. just little things like that. And I mean, there were some like in jokes that got made because of how dumb my character was. And the fact that I would pay half attention sometimes, because like, not only did it work with the character, but it also, like, I was also working on so many different things, and I was kind of doing that and playing the game, and it didn't have my complete and total attention. And it was Ballin's character and Ray's character having a discussion in a room, and they were doing their, they were having their thing, and Storms, who was the GM, says, all right, Starin, because that's my character's name, I had to alliterate, so it was Starin Spider Crusher, who was deathly afraid of spiders because one killed his father. Like, his whole family were, basically, they killed driders and stuff.
Right.
But he watched, as a young dwarf, he watched his father be slaughtered by one, and it scarred him for fucking life.
I would imagine so.
So he just, like, he'll go into a room, like a room in the inn, and he's just like, I don't trust this room. This mattress is too fluffy. It may have spiders in it, and things like that. It's just one of those things. But so Storm says to me, he goes, all right, Starn, so what are you going to do? And like, I'd been listening half to the conversation, and I'm like, I have nothing to add to this conversation. And I just said it like that, and it's just
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden everybody like kind of breaks down, like laughs, and they go, "You're not even in the room. They're having the conversation," and I'm like, "And just."
Perfect.
But there was, that became kind of like an in joke, and then because my character was just dumb and he liked to kill things, basically.
Mhm.
It's just like, all right, so Starring, what are you doing this turn? And I'm like, I'm gonna stab that thing in the fucking face. It's just like 20. You stabbed him in the fucking face. Good job.
Yay!
Just- yeah, I mean, the only time the dice were unkind to me, really, like, and I almost always on the brink of death. Like, that
Mhm.
was the other thing. Like, it's just, I played a very impulsive dwarf, where I'm just
Right.
like, I only need, for him dying in battle was like the greatest honor,
Mhm.
So I always thought of it that way too, where it's like they were going into, like, they were trying to come up with a game plan or something like that, and I'm just like, Starn's just gonna walk right past them, like, and you have a human, you had at that point like two humans, and they were arguing about like what plan of attack they were gonna do, and then you
Mhm.
have this dwarf holding his Ugaresh, just kind of walking past both of them, like going into the, and they're just like, no, Starn. It's just like, you humans keep talking, and I need action, like, just. But I mean, it's just the way I play. And then after that, I played my half drow depressed rogue,
Mhm.
which that's a thing. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's just I'm very much a chameleon in the sense of like, if I have a hand in the character, like I have a good hand on the concept of the
Mhm.
character. Even if it's not fully evolved yet.
Right.
But just doing that, like just being able to create a character and kind of just figure out like, oh, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do, so on and so forth. Like, just those little things help out so much in your fun. Because if you're not
Right.
having fun, like, then what's the fucking point, you know?
Exactly.
But yeah, D&D,
Cheers.
and that's all I'm going to talk about that conversation.
For now.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, if you guys do want us to kind of bring a tabletop RPG to the channel, and I say that because it'll be on Twitch, on YouTube. There'll be an audio portion of it as well if you just want to hear us fucking bumble around.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's something that I do want to do. It would be a bit of a commitment though, because
Mhm.
I mean, when people start role playing, it can go one of two ways. Either everybody's like laser focused and it's like 2 hours in and out, or
Mhm.
it's like every other group where it's just like an hour in, 20 minutes of dicking around,
Mhm.
another 45 minutes, half hour dicking around.
Yep.
Somebody's got to run to the bathroom. You got to wait on them, and so on and so. Next thing you know, you're there for 6 hours. So, I don't know. I'd probably be like, hey guys, this is like, we are not like dicking around on this at all. Like, we're going to try our fucking hardest to make sure everything is terrific. But yeah, it'll probably be one of those things. If
Mhm.
that ends up happening, it's something that I want to do. I know there's other people that have also voiced their opinions saying this is something we want to do. So
Mhm.
it's not even the situation of like, oh, hey, like, could I possibly get the people to do this if this happens? It's a
Right.
matter of, do we have the level of support we need to make this happen? So, yeah, I mean, it's just the thing. Plus, I mean, as I said, I'm reworking my game
Mhm.
from the ground up. So it's like it's a long, arduous process.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we'll have like magic users ready by the
Right.
time we if this happens.
Mhm.
I'm kind of hypnotized by your GIF, by the way.
It is very hypnotizing.
It is.
I love it.
But yeah, I mean, let's try not to talk about food too much because I've been hearing that we're getting known as the food podcast. So
Yeah.
hi, Sanea.
By the way, food is delicious.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yes, it is. Yeah, no, it's just Gimmick. They talk about food every fucking episode. Bag. Just, I mean, it made me laugh. It made me giggle. It was terrific. And I'm out of tea.
Oh.
I mean, I can make more, but it's not happening right now.
Right.
But yeah, so we've missed a few episodes. Did we do an episode last week?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I really don't know. Like, I do so many things that I have no idea what's what half the time.
Mm-hmm. Totally fine.
But yeah, so we I mean, we're gonna have some wrestling stuff to talk in a bit, but this weekend we have, actually, by the time you hear this, because we're recording this Thursday, Ant-Man and the Wasp will be in theaters. So,
oh, that's right.
I mean, the post-credit scenes have already been like spoiled for me, so. And yes, it does tie in with Infinity War. So
interesting.
Oh yeah. Well,
Still haven't seen it.
I mean, they kind of have to.
Well, yeah.
The end of Infinity War kind of has to tie in with everything else because of
right.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I have no idea. It's very interesting. I mean, I want to see it. I want to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. I enjoyed the first I enjoyed the first Ant-Man movie.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man was really good.
More than I should have.
Right. It was, I really enjoyed it. When I came into the movie, I didn't really have any high expectations. And I honestly do think it was better than it should have been. It was fucking hilarious. I thought it was fantastically done.
Every Marvel movie, every like Marvel Studios movie. So this doesn't include like Deadpool and the X-Men, Fantastic, Amazing Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. It doesn't include those or any of the other outliers. They are all specific genres with superheroes in them.
Right.
Each film is that way. I mean, technically, like Iron Man 1 was like a superhero film. Incredible Hulk was more of like a weird retelling of Jekyll and Hyde. It's the way I saw it.
Right.
But then you get like to like Captain America: The First Avenger, and that was very much a World War II film. You get into Ant-Man, and that is very much a heist film. Like, it's a heist movie with superheroes. Like, what the fuck is this? I can't wait till one of them does a Manos Hands of Fate thing. That'd be great. Oh, I'd love the shit out of that. Be terrific. Superheroes just in that situation. Fucking Torgo. The master doesn't approve. Take us to your master, and we'll kind of beat the shit out of him a little bit. I mean, it's a thing we do. But yeah, I mean, it's just I'm very, very happy that Marvel's been able to be as successful as they've been with their films. Kevin Feige said that going forward, there's going to be 3 Marvel films a year, which is good. Though he prefaced that with, and this doesn't include any X-Men films if the Fox deal goes through.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm looking forward. I'm just looking forward to Marvel to be able to make the fucking movies they want to make. And it's just like, fucking let's take Ant-Man and Hawkeye, who I would love to watch a Ant-Man Hawkeye movie. I would love that shit. Because Hawkeye's just, I mean, he's a guy with a bow. That's all he does. And yeah, I mean, it'd just be a lot of fun. It'd be a great time. And I mean, we got that tease in Civil War where Ant-Man's on the head of the arrow, and Hawkeye shoots him. You know, it's just little things like that. It's a very comic book, and it makes me very, very happy. But yeah, I mean, I just wish that DC was able to kind of do something half as good, film wise.
Yeah,
because I mean, they may be killing it in the comic book department right now. But I don't know. Like their movies are pretty fucking rough. I mean, their movies are rough. Some of their shows are good. Other ones I just can't get into.
Right.
Like I did enjoy watching Arrow for a few seasons. I did enjoy The Flash for a few seasons. I'm not looking forward to Titans, which just
Fair enough.
I mean, they've just made too many changes to the characters, and
Yeah.
that's just the way I look at it. Like, I've said this a few times. Take Deadpool 2, right? They changed the way Domino looked. She went from gray skin to a light-skinned black woman with vitiligo, which, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't have just said, like, okay, well, she's gray in the comics, we'll make her like gray in this. It's one thing if it's like, oh, we're just gonna change the character from Caucasian to another ethnicity. Like, I'm fine with that, but
right.
It's another thing if the character has, like, one of their prime characteristics is an unnatural skin color, I mean, it would be like them taking the Hulk and being like, all right, well, the Hulk's gonna be blue now. What? Yeah, Hulk's blue. Since fucking when? I mean, he's blue. He's either green or gray in the comics, so it's one of the two there. What? So, I mean, it's never been a knock on Zazie Beetz, who played Domino, because she did an amazing job.
Oh, she did a fantastic job.
I mean, she did a great job. The only thing that took me out of it was the look. I mean, otherwise,
I actually really loved how she looked.
Well, I mean, I grew up. I grew up with comics, so it's just like I also grew up with a lot of disappointment. So
yeah,
for me, seeing a character that I know, and they've never really deviated from the look in the comics. There's some characters that they change the look over time and so on and so forth. Understandable. But they did it in the film. And the only reason why I see it as a bigger issue than it is, because I would normally be like, well, it's Fox doing what Fox does.
Right.
Fox is going to just, we're going to make Dr. Doom just a metal man. You do realize that that's armor, right? He's made of metal now. What? but with Domino, I mean, this is a stupid ass question. You know Funko Pops, right?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean,
I might have them in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
Psh.
But they have a line for the Deadpool movie.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is Domino.
Right. Is it the movie Domino or is it the
It's the comic book Domino.
Huh.
For the movie line of Funko Pops.
Interesting.
Right? That's I mean, to me, it's like we intended to do this, but somebody goes, no. This will work better. And you're like, what? No. So, I mean, it's just cinematically, Domino was fantastic. Honestly, other than the look, the most comic accurate character I've seen in a long while. I mean, Deadpool did a good job being very comic accurate as well. For the most part. I mean, there's little things where it just wasn't, but those are things you can overlook. Domino was like so super fucking comic book accurate. It was, but then they decided, well, we got to change your look. Why? And I mean, this isn't the first, nor is it the last time I'm gonna bitch about this.
Yeah.
When the movie comes out on Blu-ray, I'll say the same thing.
Of course.
Unless there's a deleted scene or something where it's just like, oh, hey, this is why we decide. Or if they explain their reasoning, which is the biggest thing. Like, I've never heard a reason like why they changed the look of Domino. Like, why? What? But I don't know. But you know who needs you know who needs to be in another movie, especially when the Fox deal goes through? Because I want this specific movie as like a buddy film. Mantis from Guardians and Yukio from Deadpool 2 in a buddy film. Though I think it would be too adorable. Because, I mean, they're both like... I mean, Mantis is very naive. And then you have Yukio where it's just like... It's just the little interactions in Deadpool 2 where it's just like she just pops up and it's like everything stops. Hi Yukio. Hi. Just like you're like, all right, well that's, and I mean I could watch like probably 45 minutes to an hour of just that. Where it's like her walking by and people are just stopping and waving at her and it'd be a lot of fun. But no, I mean with the Fox deal there's a lot of potential for characters to cross over and give us really cool things. One thing specifically, Doctor Strange 2. So that movie's been confirmed to be happening. It's looking like it may be the last film of 2020 or the first film of 2021, which is after the Fox Marvel deal concludes. Because basically, you know, it's unless there's some unforeseen hiccup, the deal's going through. This is the way you introduce Doctor Doom. Why not with the Fantastic Four, you may ask? Well, I mean, yes, he's known for going up against the Fantastic Four. But we never really seen him in an aspect of being a magical force, which he is. He's got the magical side, he's got the technological side to him. I mean, you could have him in, hypothetically, you can have him be the villain in, or one of the villains in Doctor Strange 2. You can also have him be the villain in Black Panther 2. Latveria versus Wakanda. I think, I mean, that just, and in that sense, you'd be dealing, like, Black Panther sense, you'd be dealing with the technical aspect of, like, you know, just his grasp of technology and his doom bots and all the other stuff. And in Doctor Strange, you'd be dealing with the magical element. And then for a third film, you bring in fucking the Fantastic Four, and it's Blasted Richards, you know? But, I mean, just little things like that. You could, there's ways to do that. And certain things you could pull off that I want to see happen because I'm a fucking nerd. And I like nerd things, and I need nerd stuff to happen on movie screens that works.
Right.
Not like Fan4stick, not like Fantastic Four, not like Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, not like Batman v Superman, not like Justice League. I mean, not like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, not like Spider-Man 3. I mean, the list can go on, but I don't know. But yeah. So do you anything you would like to talk?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
All right.
Per usual.
Per the usual, yeah.
Per the usual.
So I guess this will be the point where we start talking about the
wrestling.
The fucking weird world of wrestling.
Yes.
So we have 2 people out on, well, 3 people, 4 people injured in the WWE that we know of. Jeff Hardy's injured, but he's working through his injury. Shinsuke Nakamura, which we talked about the dog bite thing last week. And then we have these 2. Bray Wyatt was apparently involved in a 3-car collision. His car was totaled. And he sustained some kind of head injury. But he's still billed to be at Extreme Rules. So, I mean, I guess it's not bad enough, you know. So that there's that. And then the other one, this one caught me off guard, and I like kind of got really sad about it. Ruby Riott.
Right.
So she has a sprained, was it MCL, I think it.
Something like.
Yeah. So I mean, she's, I mean, thankfully it's only a sprain. Because it could be a lot worse than it really is. You know, honestly, I just hope for a speedy recovery, and yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. Like, don't rush the recovery, but hopefully things heal properly quickly.
Right.
Because arguably she's one of the people that I enjoy watching on currently. As for Bray Wyatt, Wyatt was cited for careless driving due to his accident, which totaled his vehicle. So, but yeah, it was Fightful. Fightful had a source saying that he suffered a traumatic head injury and was having trouble recalling the incident.
Oh, geez.
But at the same time, I mean, that could mean any number of things. I know there's some injuries that I've sustained that I don't remember.
Right.
Well, I remember having an injury. I just don't remember sustaining it. Mostly because at a certain point you just black out, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could mean that that's what that's all about. But he has been said to be moving around. TMZ spoke to Bray earlier this week, and he told them he was moving around and that he'd live through it because he can't die. Which is
he God?
I have no fucking clue. It is fucking weird.
Does he believe he's a god?
I mean, maybe. I mean, at the same time, that may have been him being in character too.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope
'Cause,
so.
I
If
mean-
so, A fucking plus. If not, I'm a little scared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that isn't him in character saying that, then that's the kind of thing somebody says before they OD. I can
Yeah.
never die. And then it's just like 2 days later, you get a phone call. It's like, hey, can you come down? Because we need your help with something. Why do I need to be at at a hospital? Don't worry
Mhm.
about it. You get there and it's just like, we need you to identify this body. And you're like,
Oh,
what?
Jesus.
But yeah, yeah, he was cited for careless driving due to his failure to operate his vehicle in a careful and prudent manner. Doesn't mention what he was distracted by, just that he was inattentive.
Right.
So,
Huh.
I don't know. But yeah, it's just we're getting into that point. Like usually right before Mania, like there's a whole string of injuries. We didn't get that this year, which is kind of amazing. But now like everything's just like, oh well, you know what? Fuck you. Sami Zayn's out until Mania next year, basically. Ruby Riot's out. Bray,
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but that's I don't know. So you brought something to my attention. All
I
in.
did. Ah, yes. Not the ghoul in, but the all in.
Yes. All in. So today, July 5th, they made a few announcements about the All In show. If you're not familiar, the All In show is a show funded by Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks, basically. It will be broadcast somehow, so there is that. But yeah, it's just it's one of those things. So they announced that SoCal Uncensored, which is Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian, will be competing on the card, which is pretty cool. The other thing that was announced is they announced their first match. First match to be announced for All In is Kazuchika Okada against Marty Scurll. And I look at this and I'm like, fucking what? Like how does this how do we I mean, I understand like you want to book this good, but that's I mean, that's just like too good of a match to book.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the two biggest things. There's been some talent that have had to pull out of All In because they are now contracted with the WWE as well. So that is a thing. And while we're talking about Marty Scurll, there's another thing that was announced today. So we all know that the Chris Jericho has a cruise coming up.
Yep.
Is Rock and Wrestling Rager or something or another.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Something like that.
The Jericho Cruise. We'll just call it the Jericho Cruise. So Marty Scurll will be representing Ring of Honor and going up against Sami Callihan, who's representing Impact Wrestling. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sami Callihan's worked New Japan, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's not unheard of. But it's just weird seeing, like, New Japan, Ring of Honor, well, mostly Ring of Honor and Impact, working with a guy who's known for being a WWE guy.
Right.
And that's just really, really nuts. Let me share this gem with you.
Alrighty. Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, so what I just
I love the smile on Braun's face. The best.
So you have the picture. It's from Drake Maverick's Twitter. He is the general manager of 205 Live, formerly known as Rockstar Spud. So, I mean, he's not a large gentleman by any stretch. It's him and Braun Strowman in swim trunks. And he looks like, I don't know what's going on, and Braun is just smiling and posing, and it's fucking scary.
What?
Maybe he's trying to get into the cruiserweight division. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
And but yeah, it's just I mean, we have a lot of I mean, it's been a busy week, and especially with the G1 coming up. We have this Saturday, I think. It's either this Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Saturday. We have the G1 special in San Francisco, which I believe Marco's going to.
Oh.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
Lucky duck.
Yup. I mean, that should be a pretty decent show. I mean, it's a New Japan show. It's kind of to build hype for the G1, which starts off next week. I mean, we do have the G1 coming up, and it's so it's Saturday. Saturday is the G1 special in San Fran. I mean, it doesn't have like a horrible card.
Right.
I mean, the first match of the show is going to be Roppongi 3K with Rocky Romero, Gato and Yoshihashi against Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Tangaloa, Tama Tonga, and King Haku, which is just, I mean, that makes me excited. Because, I mean, you have Haku wrestling with his two sons, so.
Right.
Toriano and Tomohiro Ishii against Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki. Kushida and Hiroshi Tanahashi against Marty Scurll and Hangman Page. Then we have our Never Openweight Championship between Hiroki Goto and Jeff Cobb. Then we got the Young Bucks defending their IWGP Tag Team Championships. Yes, their Heavyweight Tag Team Championships against Evil and Sonata. Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada against Bushi and Tetsuya Naito. Hiromu Takahashi against Dragon Lee with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line. Jay White against Mr. America, red, white, and blue sparklers coming out of his nipples while he's shooting American flag bald eagles out of his ass. Juice Robinson for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. And then the main event is a IWGP Heavyweight Championship match between Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes. So, looks like a good show on paper. Really does. Really does. And I mean, we got as I said, we got the G1 coming up, and it's just, I mean, the brackets are interesting. and if you follow New Japan, you can kind of know what I'm saying when I say this. But I mean, in Block A, okay, and so in Block A, I don't know why they still use him, myself, but they got Michael Elgin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Michael Elgin. We got Evil, Bad Luck Fale, Togi Makabe, Kazuchika Okada, Hangman Page, Minoru Suzuki, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Jay White, and Yoshihashi. That's our Block A matches. Our Block A. Our Block B, Hiroki Goto, Kota Ibushi, Tomohiro Ishii, Tetsuya Naito, Kenny Omega, Juice Robinson, Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata, Tamatanga, and Toru Yano. I think this is Yano. I'm joking. This is not Yano's year. It is fucking not Yano's year. So, for me, the highlight of the entire tournament, like the matchups I would want to see. I think night one of Block A. I think we have Tanahashi and Minoru Suzuki again.
Mm-hmm.
Last time those two went at it, Suzuki like stretched the shit out of his leg, and and they actually had to pull him for the rest of the tour because Tanahashi was just so fucked up. I mean that's one I'm looking forward to. I do want to see. I mean, Jay White and Okada. I'm interested in.
Right.
I mean, so that's two matches that I'm looking forward to in Block A. Block B, of course, the big ones being Ibushi and Omega. I mean, we're getting that regardless. That's actually the last night of Block B. Any Toru Yano match, because there's going to be shenanigans, and I fucking love shenanigans. Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi is another one I want to see.
Right.
Naito and Omega. I mean, Block B is kind of like where I'm sitting, where I'm like, these are the ones I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Ibushi and Omega. I want to see Ibushi and Naito. I want to see Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. I do want to see I want to see Ibushi and fucking Toru Yano because I want to see what the fuck they can do, you know? Hell, at the CEO thing, we were teased with Hiromu I mean, actually not even Hiromu, Daryl Tanahashi, and Kota Ibushi. We were teased with that. Like Kota was calling out Daryl, and they brought Daryl into the ring, and then Hiromu had to try to use that as a distraction to get a small package. Or a roll-up, rather. But it should be a really good tournament. Block A, I see. I mean, the easy bet is Okada. I mean, Okada's the Cena of New Japan, basically, where this is a big match situation, so he's going to be there. You know, he's going to come to the dance. So I see Okada in the finals, and I see... Unless they pull a swerve and they give us Jay White in the finals, because that'd be interesting, too. And then, I mean, we're going to see... Probably going to see somebody like along the lines of like Ibushi. I would like to see... Ibushi and Okada. I think that would be a great match to watch. Ibushi goes over, that sets up Wrestle Kingdom between Kenny and Ibushi. And it'd be a nice little send-off for the two. I mean, for him anyway. Because apparently WWE is getting ready to offer big money contracts to the Bucks, Omega, and Cody.
Oh.
Yep. That's what the rumor mill's been spewing.
I can't see Cody taking it. Personally. The Bucks and Kenny, maybe.
Okay, so here's the the fun part about that. So that came out. That news came out like late last week.
Mm-hmm.
So Omega was on Jim Ross's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of promote the G1 special in San Fran.
Yes.
And Omega kind of like kind of said some very interesting things, which was this is a clip from it, or is this
What are your thoughts, Kenny, on WWE as it relates to Kenny Omega down the road sometime?
When I think about the possibilities of stuff like that, it does get me excited. Every promotion has so many good guys that there's no way that I would have a bad time going almost anywhere because the depth to the talent is so deep. WWE right now has a very great collection of talent. I would feel like it was a missed opportunity if I couldn't work with him at some point. If I could work with Seth Rollins at some point in time, that'd be a lot of fun.
Be awesome.
And of course, the huge name amongst all that is AJ. I would love to work with AJ.
Oh, wow.
At some point. And I'd like to be able to do it while I can still move, you know what I mean?
That's right, man.
So, yeah, it's just I mean, he wants to do it. I mean, it's just a matter of, can New Japan give him a reason not to sign? Basically.
Right.
And I mean, they've been very, very much about trying to bring in the Bucks, trying to bring in, I mean, just with the way they've been very like, oh, hey, we're going to put up this old Deep South match with Kenny Omega. Like, oh, hey, we're going to let the Young Bucks and Kenny be on the New Day's gimmick, and we're going to let the New Day be on their gimmick. And it's like,
right.
What? This is fucking weird. So I'm just very, very intrigued by where this is going. I mean, we had some other good rumors this past week. Yeah, Ruby Riott with the sprained MCL. Dina Peruzzo was the one that she's no longer all in because she now is a part of the WWE roster.
Yep.
Also part of the WWE roster, Io Shirai. That name may sound familiar because last year during the Mae Young Classic, she was supposed to, they were going to bring her in, but she had problems with the physical. So she went back to Japan. She did more Stardom, apparently got healthy enough. They offered her a contract, and now she's with the company. They made the announcement during the Japanese tour by having her come out, and she will be on NXT. So, which is interesting. So, yeah, Wrestling Votes, which is a Twitter. And I do like coverage, and they have sources, quote unquote, and all the other shit. They're the ones that stating that WWE is planning to make large money offers to Cody, Kenny, and the Bucks
Right.
This year. It's not clear any of them will take the deal. Now, I don't see Cody taking the deal.
Right.
But I do see Kenny and the Bucks doing it. Just so they could say, we've been there, All it does is it raises your stock plus. I mean, maybe we'll get some, maybe they'll, WWE will hire the merch people that the Bucks use. Because those shirts WWE's been putting out are pretty fucking hideous as of late.
Yeah.
Really bad.
I'm pretty sure you could do as good, if not better, than
it took me 3 minutes in MS Paint to do like a new quote unquote DIY shirt.
Right.
It's just Fuck 'em.
It's sad and pathetic.
Yeah.
And yet we get like fucking desk lamps of like fucking AJ Styles' goddamn logo.
Yeah. It's just it's outrageous.
Mhm.
I don't. WWE.
Why must WWE hurt us in this way?
WWE.
It's like they want us to suffer.
Fix.
We're gonna put out
your
shitty shirts. Yeah.
Fix them.
hmm
I make tons of T-shirt designs because I have nothing better to do with my life. Because nobody buys them. Full disclosure, nobody buys them, even if they're for charity. Nobody buys them. At the same time, I didn't know that during the 4th of July holiday, Spreadshirt, who we use for all of the shirts, was running 20% off.
Oh.
If I'd known that, I would have fucking promoted it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe moved 1 or 2 shirts. But no. Nope. That annoyed the shit out of me. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. We got Extreme Rules coming up.
That's right. We have a pay-per-view.
Yeah, we got
approaching.
We got a pay-per-view on the 15th that we're probably not going to be watching because
Yeah. What's the card like so far, do you know? I kind of doubt they have anything really fleshed out fully, but
actually we have Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin, Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley, the Bludgeon Brothers versus Team Hell No, the Leaders of Worlds against the B Team, Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins in an Iron Man match, Carmella versus Asuka, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax in an Extreme Rules match. Well, you got to remember, Alexa Bliss did cash in on Nia.
I heard that. I heard that.
And
I saw the Twitters.
And AJ Styles versus Rusev.
Fucking why?
Because Rusev won a gauntlet.
So now Rusev is finally getting a push. Jesus fucking Christ.
About time.
I love that we're under the assumption that Bray will probably be wrestle ready in next weekend?
Yep.
Depending on how severe his injury really is.
Yeah.
And, good to know that Nakamura will probably be back from his fucking dog bite injury.
But at the same time, I will say this much. It is a tag match.
Right.
So they could have him out there and just kind of have Matt take the spots.
Mm-hmm.
Basically he doesn't take any bumps, that kind of thing, and blah, blah, blah. Because
True.
The word going around is SummerSlam. It's going to be the Leaders of Worlds against the Authors of Pain. Because fuck the Revival.
God.
I kind of see Team Hell No going over, though.
I've heard that there isn't going to be any swapping of any titles.
I wouldn't be...
Per the rumor mill.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I really can't see Team Hell No going over. I think they're trying to utilize Bray Wyatt... not Bray Wyatt. Bryan Danielson as much as they can. Because I don't know if he's really going to re-sign with WWE.
So that's
when it gets to that point. So they're going to try to condense as many good matches as they can while they have him. Per the rumor mill.
So going back to the rumor mill that you were just mentioning. So just in case he doesn't re-sign, WWE is trying to book all the Daniel Bryan dream matches before his contract is up.
Yep.
The site also says Miz will get involved in Team Hell No's match at Extreme Rules to set up Bryan versus The Miz at SummerSlam. Where if no new contract has been signed, Miz will win a blow-off.
Right.
Though if Bryan signs a deal to stay, they'll make that feud longer. So, I mean, I'm fine either way on that one.
Yeah.
So, there's also the, you talked about the rumor mill and everything like that, and how disgusted you are about Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax again. Apparently, there's some actual heat between the two now.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. So, basically, trying to
Find me info.
Yeah, exactly. I know I've read this like 4 or 5 times over the last couple days, and there was like a new edition that Meltzer kind of said something on. See if I can search for. But yeah, it's just yeah. So we got Nia Jax getting a rematch and all the other stuff, but this thing doesn't to.
Sorry for the running water, folks. That's my neighbors upstairs.
I actually don't hear any running water.
Fantastic!
Now you just sound like a crazy person.
Yay!
But yeah, apparently there's a lot of heat going on between.
Like legit heat or like kayfabe?
Legit heat.
Really?
Yeah.
Hot diggity dog.
So yeah, basically, what's been going on is there were comments made about how Bliss has been kind of perhaps fucking her way towards titles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Well then.
So it's been a very interesting thing. So Dave Meltzer addressed the rumor about Nia Jax's recent social media behavior towards Bliss, which included unfollowing, liking negative comments directed at Bliss, so on and so forth, saying it's not a work and has resulted in Jax having real life heat in WWE.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean,
then.
part of it comes down to like it's fucked up, but kind of have to just look at it from the perspective of, well, some people are going to do things that are really shitty to further their career. I mean, apparently there's things that came out about Jay Lethal. Well.
Oh.
Yeah, so Taylor Hendricks, who best known for her work in Ring of Honor, is apparently has legal counsel involved because somebody asked her let me try to pull it up.
Alrighty.
But yeah, she's just like is this? I know this is going to be on wrestling sites. This is from yesterday. My name is Taylor, and this is my statement. Attorneys on my behalf have an ongoing investigation. I know I'm not the only one, and people have known of this investigation. People that have known about this investigation have been supported. I'll continue to fight for what's right. So it's just like, all right, well, what's, you see that and you're like, well, what's this all about? And something was tweeted at her where it was, This is what happens when you have multiple Twitter accounts and you have them go through your PC. You gotta constantly fucking change stuff, and log in all the fucking time. So it's just like, oh hey, you want to look at shit? Fucking sign in. I'm like, but yeah, basically the deal is she had she was pulled off of TV and stuff like that. Ring of Honor TV back a while. Oh, okay, here we go. Somebody tweeted at her, "I missed the House of Truth, which was a faction." And she goes, "I don't." She retweet quoted it, I guess. "I don't. It should have been the House of Hendrix. What has Truth or Jay done? Do they draw? Being a funny guy with a book. The other one only talks about his time in Impact copying Legends. For real, bruh. The legacy is copying Legends, which not necessarily wrong." Somebody responded, "I mean, Jay is now a 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion, longest reigning Ring of Honor Television Champion, only man in the history of Ring of Honor to become undisputed Ring of Honor Champion, both with the World and TV title at the same time. No offense to you or anything. What have you done lately?" And it's like, and she responded, "Also, the dude you're standing up for is the same dude that told me because I didn't sleep with them, they'd sabotage me and took me off TV. That being the almighty Jay."
Well then.
So, yeah. So apparently there's this whole thing now with Jay Lethal and this, which, I mean, it happens. Yeah, nobody's clean. Nobody's clean, and it's, if you're gonna use that, if that's gonna be your way to actually do stuff, to get ahead in business and make sure that people do get ahead in business. I mean, for a while that was kind of the quote unquote accepted practice. You wanted to be on TV, you wanted to have a prominent spot, you were going to do something for it.
Right.
In some cases it was, banging somebody with enough stroke in the back, or getting somebody some drugs or whatnot, and it's like, it's not a good time for a lot of these people, because now all this stuff's coming out, and the House of Truth thing that goes back a few years. So I mean, it's just it sucks. It really sucks, and to see people not having the decency to actually listen to what the person is saying, and being like, "Oh well, what have you done?" That's a big fucking problem.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather see somebody legitimately make a effort to try and be a better person, so on and so. I mean, all we're getting right now is just absolute garbage.
Yeah.
We're getting more Michael Elgins in this world, which it's fucking disgusting. I mean, this is one of those reasons why I don't like talking about the products as much anymore, because we're constantly hearing about this person doing this and that person doing that. I mean, it's one thing to be working a show and banging a rat afterwards. It's another thing to basically treat every woman in the industry as a rat and saying the only way you're going to be put in a prominent spot is if you fuck me.
Right.
So it's such a, it's a sign of the times, sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're regressing back to the way things used to be as a society. Meanwhile, some of us are trying to push forward. And I mean, it's fucking gross. It really is.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I just don't. I don't think that we should. I mean, one thing I try not to talk about is the world going on around us because of how depressing and all the other shit it is. About the government and politics and all that stuff. Sadly, with what's been going on, it's kind of enabling a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's a vocal group that's just like, hey, we can't have any of this shit going on. Like,
Right.
We've made so many steps forward, we can't take 12 back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you have this, you know, the people in power basically who are making it so it seems acceptable to take those steps back, which I think is fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's as much as I will talk about this entire topic,
Fair enough.
because it's just because I can go on about that. I mean, I can just, and it'll be very, very mean-spirited. Very mean-spirited. But yeah, it's just, I don't even know where to go from here, to be honest.
I don't know either. To be fair.
To be fair, I mean, we haven't done an hour and a half in a while,
True, we haven't.
and we're
Is that
just
where we're
about
at
at
now?
that mark. Yeah,
Hot damn.
we're just about at that mark. And so anyway, I guess this might be the best time to kind of wrap things up.
With a shitty ending.
Yeah, well, fair. I
Sending
mean,
you home, making you feel like garbage.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just
Dirty garbage. Now you know that. Now I'm getting into like the creepy, kinky portion of the podcast. I should stop.
all right. So let me bring the music back down. We'll get.
Here I am to ruin things.
But anyway, guys, thank you all very much for checking us out. It's been a great time being back. It's great to have these cams back too.
It really is. Even though you can't see me, Todd can see me. That's all that matters.
Yo. But anyway, you can catch us obviously on many different platforms of audio. The platforms of audio, the iTunes, the Stitchers, the TuneIns,
Radio Public, Google Play,
and of course our favorite, Radio Public.
Yes.
You can check us out on those. Of course, music, as always, provided by TechnoAxe. You can go and check out TechnoAxe at technoaxe.com. With a lot of the, if you are a content creator and you're worried about those DMC warnings or letters or whatever the fuck they are. TechnoAxe provides free music for you to use on your streams, in your videos, on your podcasts, for your big projects, small projects, whatever. It's very cool, very awesome. You can check out Moriarty on Twitter, twitter.com/Moriarty_time. And I hear that you may be streaming again.
Eventually. I'm working on it. This weekend I have to do a lot of adulting.
Fair.
Next weekend, maybe, ? Patent pending, TM, soon, TM.
Well, if you want to know when Mori is going to be live,
follow me on Twitter.
You can go to twitch.tv/Moriarty_time, hit that follow button, make sure you set notifications, because you'll get an email saying, hey, listen, Moriarty's live.
Yes.
Check, so that's a thing. Of course, you can check me out at twitch.tv/ToddEvf, and of course, twitter.com/ToddEvf. You can catch me there as well. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/precipicepodcast, facebook.com/precipicepodcast, twitter.com/precipicepodnet. You can buy the shirts at shop.spreadshirt.com/precipicepodcast. We have some cool designs up right now. There may be some more coming in August. It all depends on if I can think of anything new. But anyway, that's our time. We'd like to thank you very much for hanging out, and we'll catch you next time for another edition of Gimmick Bag. Good day, good night, good evening, everybody.
Bye-bye.